That drew your attention, didn't it? Yeah. Thank you, Maria. She's got to run off. She's got something in the Opera House now, performance. I'm going to have to sell a lot of books to be able to cover for this. Hey, but what a great performance. Tango is wonderful, isn't it? Doesn't matter whether you dance it, whether you're from Uruguay or Argentina, which is usually where it has developed. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, such a wonderful dance. To me, it's the most beautiful dance of all. I grew up here and I'm still attached to it. I've seen people dance it all over the world, and I've been lucky enough to see it in Argentina, in Buenos Aires and in Montevideo. And it's just amazing. It's just the coming together of two human beings and the passion. So thank you very much for this. Thank you all for coming today. I will say a little bit in Spanish afterwards, and I will read a couple of little lines as well from Spanish, but I will start in English because we have a lot of English-speaking people as well. The book is in both languages. That's why I prefer to say a little bit on both. And they're in both languages because I grew up in both Uruguay and Australia, and I feel a part of me in both. I wrote a play once when I was only about 22, and it was called Two Worlds. And I think it was about me living in two different worlds, because that's what it feels like when you migrate and you adapt to a place and you have a lot of things in one place and a lot of things in the other place. And you also have a lot of things missing in one place and another. And I find that it's such an incredible experience that unless you have migrated, you will not be able to. So I hope this book gives a little bit of that insight, because it is autobiographical. Of course, it's a fictional novel because I invented a few characters, but all the stories are true, funny enough. And I've changed everyone's names to protect those innocent ones. And those of you who have read part one would have realised that it's written in a third person, so I haven't written it as Carlos Camacho. I wrote it in the perspective of someone that doesn't like me. So it gave me a lot of room for humour and to criticise my own experiences, my own bad and good decisions. So it's very therapeutic. I recommend it to anyone. It's taken a long time, 8 years to publish this, 4 years writing in many parts of the world as I was travelling, and 4 years proofreading with different proofreaders and so forth. And I tell you, you don't write a book as a commercial venture. You write it, one, as if it's autobiographical, it's therapeutic, but two, for this moment right here, when people come and they acknowledge what you've done, and some people may like it, some people may not. In part one, I have a preface, the prologue, if you like, that's written by Chilo Arrighetti, a good friend of the family, and he's a writer himself. And he said to me, Carlos, remember, when you write a book, there's going to be 10% of people that love it, 10% of people that hate it, and about 80% that won't care at all. So I keep that in mind, and you try not to satisfy everyone, or else you satisfy no one. But I'm satisfied with it. I hope you are too when you read it. And I'm going to read a little bit, if you don't mind. First, from the English book, Goodbye Charlie. I read a little bit in Bonnyrigg Library from part one, so I'm going to read part two, since this is technically the launch of part two. Now, this is a chapter called Firestarter. Charlie and Jack, Charlie's best friend, found themselves in Uruguay on a coastal town, and he made friends with all these hippie people, alternative people, and they were all learning how to juggle fire. And so this is a little bit about that experience there. And they went to a place called Cabo Polonio. Some people from Uruguay may have known. It's an absolute incredible, beautiful, amazing place. There's 3 places that I adore in my life that I find myself authentically at ease, and that is, 1 is Cabo Polonio, 2 is in Cusco in Peru, and 3 is in Nora Head, where I live now. So I'm lucky enough to be able to live in one of the places that I absolutely adore. You got to remember that it's written from Alistair's perspective, and he's narrating this, and then he talks to Jack and Charlie about it. So we're going to just start, just 2 pages, just start at the end of the chapter. This is Alistair's talking. Charlie and Jack were on the road again, but this time by bus. Their first stop was Valisas, where the story of the kings of the campsite and Cornelius's vanishing home eventuated. From there, they went to Cape Polonio, a place that everyone talked about. Cape Polonio had a reputation of being something you had to experience. Words couldn't describe it. Everyone said the same. Valisas was not far from El Cabo by car, but the best way to get there was walking through the soft sand dunes that separated them. It was not reputed to be an easy walk. Charlie and Jack took the challenge. They wanted to arrive by foot, just like they had at Machu Picchu when they took the Inca Trail. Shouldering their backpacks, they walked east from the Valisas beach towards the sand dunes, which were visible from a distance. They said goodbye to Cornelius's roof and the campsite that had given them so much during their stay. They watched the new people settle in the camp as they walked off, advising them of one thing: be careful with your tent. A great deal of theft occurred at the campsite, but nothing ever went missing for Charlie or Jack. They were told the story of someone's tent being carried out by thieves, the whole tent, with everything in it, and still upright. It was a story that made everyone laugh, picturing the pragmatic criminals walking out with a tent that may well have had someone sleeping in it without them knowing. Crossing the dunes with a piece of cake for Charlie and Jack. Sorry, not with a piece of cake. That would have thought it might have something in the cake. Crossing the dunes was a piece of cake for Charlie and Jack. They had done the Inca Trail a couple of months before, and compared to that, anything was easy. It was like Jesus crossing the desert, but in 4 hours rather than 40 days, Jack said romantically. They arrived at El Cabo, and the first thing they saw was a cow standing on the beach, getting her feet wet in the ocean. It was like being in a Magritte painting, Charlie recalled, a live piece of surrealism. We had never seen a cow on a beach, Jack said to me. We looked around and there was no grass to be seen. Very left field, Charlie said. So far so good, and I knew we were in for something out of this world. They could see the cape with the lighthouse from where the cow was. Small rectangular boxes were scattered over the small peninsula in a chaotic manner. As they approached, it became clear that the irregular positioned boxes were houses. It was as if God had been playing dice with them and had run out of luck over El Cabo, Charlie said. They entered the tiny village, which had only a handful of small shops. Shops was a nice way of putting it. They were wooden huts with hippies selling badly made cheap jewelry, Jack explained. They went further out to the end of the cape where the lighthouse advised them of the end of the earth. They saw a beautifully placed restaurant on the edge of the rocks and decided it was time to eat and ask for advice. Now this is Alistair talking. On my last visit to Fiji, Jack sat me down for 12 hours straight and told me all about the Cape, Brazil, Greece, back to Uruguay, living with Charlie in Australia, forming a rock band, recording overseas, and the start of Charlie's downfall. Jack lay back on a weathered hammock near his bar. Let's get this all down, as there won't be another meeting. Jack leaned forward like he was about to run a race. We stayed in El Cabo for a few weeks. Similar to Aguascalientes, tourists only pass by there for the day or for a couple of hours. After everyone leaves, it's magical. There is no other word for it. Charlie called it that too. Yes, I know, said Jack, interlacing his fingers. We found out that we could camp for free on the beach, but it was a hike from the town. They called it La Cañada, and people camped there to avoid being fined. We had a swim and headed back towards where we'd come from. There were 4 or 5 tents there, and we chose a spot on the sand. There we stayed in La Cañada for a week until the storm came. God was angry. Like Shakespeare said in The Tempest, hell is empty and all the devils are here, Charlie reflected casually. Thank you. That's a little bit of the time when we found ourselves in La Cañada. Actually, we have some of Jack's relatives here, but we don't have Jack. So I'm going to read a little bit. Is that all right? Read a little bit of the Spanish one now? Yeah. Do you want the same piece or a different one? Different one, no? Different one. Different one, different one. Any questions on that, by the way? Sorry?
How old was Charlie?
Charlie was about 30 then. Yeah. Yeah. It's about 30. 31, 32. Pero bueno, este capítulo se llama En busca de sal, que es algo que tienen Charlie y Jack en común, siempre buscando el mar. Jack se acercó más y me pasó otro cóctel de ron e higo. La noche había caído rápidamente y el bar de la playa estaba trabajando tiempo extra. Era la primera noche completa sin lluvia y todos los turistas estaban tratando de meterse todo el alcohol y la música que pudieran antes de regresar a su monótona rutina. Me encontré con él en Montevideo después de que regresó de su país por las rutas, dijo bruscamente Jack mientras revolvía una margarita. Alquilamos un coche y nos dirigimos hacia la costa del este. Los últimos 5 departamentos que Charlie no había visitado. Estaba esperando hacer esta parte del país conmigo, me relató Jack. Me contó que fue una parte de su viaje que disfrutó inmensamente, le dije. Pasamos lindo, estábamos solos en la carretera, recordó Jack mientras abría una sombrillita amarilla y suavemente la ponía en una copa de martini que Stanning cargaba. Jack me había pedido que me sentara al final del bar, cerca del refrigerador, para que él pudiera hablar y también ser capaz de seguir sirviendo a los clientes. Cerca de 20 minutos después, me moví al centro de la barra, ya que se distraía y yo necesitaba esta información para mañana, en la tarde, antes de regresar a Sydney. Jack continuó. Nos dirigimos hacia Punta y después donde se convirtió para Charlie su lugar favorito en la faz de la tierra. Y ahí Alex te dice, Cabo Polonia. Casi, dijo Jack, Cabo Polonio. Sonrió mientras la caja registradora se abría, permitiéndole tomar el cambio. Le di un sorbo al cóctel que Stanning me había dado con los excéntricos colores y una pequeña tabla de surf hecha de pera y sal. No nos quedamos en Punta, no era realmente lo nuestro. Ya sabes, muy caro, gente plástica y así por el estilo. Nos movimos a balizas, a quedarnos en una casa que le habían ofrecido. Cornelius, dice Alistair. Jack se dio vuelta y me miró con ojos amigables. Por primera vez descubrí esa mirada que obtienes de alguien que dice, compartimos conocimiento secreto. Jack dejó de hacer lo que estaba haciendo, echándose a reír estruendosamente, justo como Charlie lo había descrito. Sí, dijo, Cornelius, no podrías inventar un mejor personaje con un mejor nombre, incluso si lo intentaras. Charlie dijo que te echarías a reír cuando lo mencionara. Entonces sabrás que cuando llegamos a esa casa en la playa no pudimos encontrarla o verla. Seguimos las instrucciones. Charlie había hablado con algunas personas y nadie parecía saber mucho acerca de ella. Un tipo mayor la señalaba en un kiosco y decía, sí, la casa de Cornelius, debería estar por ahí en algún lugar. Charlie y yo buscamos y no pudimos ver nada. Caminamos en la arena y finalmente nos topamos con un pedazo de techo en la playa. Eso era la casa de Cornelius en la playa. Y dijo, ahí es en donde ponemos nuestras bolsas. Salté una frase acá. En la playa. El salvavidas vino a enseñarnos el techo. Abrió una puertita y dijo, ahí es en donde ponemos nuestras bolsas. Había suficiente espacio para poner un par de mochilas. Charlie y yo nos reímos tanto y regresamos a un bar que vimos en el camino. Nos sentamos y pedimos unas cervezas y tequilas y nos sonreímos de todo el asunto de Cornelius. Las noches de Fiji parecían más cortas que en cualquier otro lugar. Seguro que habíamos tomado 6 o 7 cócteles de higo hasta que el bar había quedado vacío de nuevo y los turistas habían decidido regresar a sus pequeños hoteles para dormir. Eran las 4 de la mañana. Jack oficialmente cerraba el bar pateando a un joven australiano en el estómago y arrastrándolo a la calle para que durmiera por el resto de su embriaguez. Me dijo mucho más acerca de este tiempo y escribí lo que pude. Regresé a la habitación detrás del bar y caí en el sofá, sosteniendo mi libreta y mi lápiz para asegurarme de tenerlo cuando despertara. No fue mi último viaje a Fiji. Muchas cosas pasaron, incluyendo Jack dejando el negocio del bar y dirigiéndose a Perú de nuevo. Mientras tanto, lo que me dijo fue esto. Después del evento de Cornelius encontramos un pequeño campamento de balizas. Era un poco más chico que una cuadra. Era barato y ya estaba lleno principalmente de gente joven. Obtuvimos el mejor lugar del sitio, por la parte trasera justo en medio, y estaba en una leve lomada, lo cual significaba que podíamos ver todo y a todos desde nuestra carpa. Tu carpa se convirtió en el centro de todo movimiento, dentro y fuera, dijo Alistair. Era central, dijo seriamente Jack, y se propuso a preparar un cóctel de bergamota y puta parió para una pareja mongola. Yo estaba en mi tercer brebaje de higo y seguía escribiendo tan rápido como podía. No podía grabar debido al ruido del bar. De cualquier modo, vos escribí y tratá de no hacer interrupciones, gritó sobre el ruido de la licuadora. Comete esos higos que no son decorativos. Muchas gracias. Bueno, primero voy a seguir en español ya que estoy con la mente en este mundo ahora. Ojalá que saquen algo. Como ven, hay mucho humor. Traté de usar mucho sarcasmo porque los que me conocen saben que soy una persona muy sarcástica. Así paso las cosas malas, ¿no? A veces con humor es muy importante y tratar de enfrentar el asunto de una manera para el lector que le sea más leve. Este es mi primer libro, el tercero sale en julio, que viene a ser la parte anterior a que Alistair conoce a Charlie, y estoy escribiendo otro ahora, así que no se van a escapar tan fácil. Va a estar en español y en inglés, así que... so just quickly, thank you. I've tried... If you enjoyed the book, you'll find that there's a lot of humor in it. It's written in third person with a lot of sarcasm. I find that very refreshing when I read books like that. So I like it. So that's why I wrote it in that manner. But I tried to also capture humanity in it and try to develop the main characters of the book, which is of course Alistair, Charlie, Jack, and Ferdinand, who I haven't read today, but. And in the second book, those who read the first one, there's a bit of a couple of twists at the end, so I hope you enjoy it. Any questions? Preguntas? No? Everyone's waiting for the tango, right? Well, I'd just like to say, hang around because we're going to actually have some nibblies, some cheese, some really expensive blue vein and camembert cheese. Yeah, I've just gone full out.
Are the books available in Amazon?
Yes, good. You should come to all my presentations. I have to learn how to do more business, you know. Yeah, if you don't want to buy from here I'm selling it for $20 basically. From Amazon it costs $25 because it's in American dollars, 20. Oh yeah, that's the wrong one. If you go into Amazon Australia, it'll be cheaper. Amazon Australia, because or else it's shipped from the United States. But yeah, feel free to buy. I'm basically selling them at cost price. I prefer people to have them. I prefer to 1,000 people read the book and not make much money, but I think 100. And so, like I said, this is not a business venture. No es un negocio, es para que la gente pueda tener acceso a esto. Y como había dicho en inglés anteriormente, que no lo dije en español, que realmente hay tanto trabajo que se pone en una obra de arte, ¿no? Sea una pintura, sea un libro, sea lo que sea, que al final, después de 8 años, lo más lindo es esto, ver la cara de la gente, lo que lo va a leer. Muchos le va a gustar, muchos no, pero para alguien que hace algo creativo, es lindo tener acceso a la gente. Muchos no lo tienen, ¿no? Y por ahora, mientras no sea un bestseller, voy a tener acceso. Después vamos a ver, no sé. Después no voy a estar mandando texto, vengan a mi lanzamiento. Bueno, me está llamando, Carlos, ¿puedo ir? No sé, me está llena ya. Puede tener a Stephen King leyendo mi capítulo. So, yeah, for all those English-speaking people, don't worry, you didn't miss anything. Just me predicting the future when I'm a best-selling author. I won't be inviting anyone to my launches. So anyway, there's going to be Niblisi. Please stay back. I'll sign some books if you want. If you don't have any money and you tell me something really funny, I'll laugh. I'll give it to you for free. Thank you very much. Gracias.